Coach Snyder, ready for it?
Hey, Sean, I'll start us off here. Isaiah Williams, I know you wanted him back there at punt returner. Just what is he giving you there? What are your early impressions of him there?
Well, I'll tell you, all through camp, in fact, every time he's been back there, he's been very impressive with what he can do, his agility, how well he moves, his vision. So I've been pretty excited about where he's at, and finally getting some returns going was a big plus to see him in a live game getting after it. So I've been really impressed with him, like I said, all through camp and especially Saturday.
What's the key to more consistency out of Caleb in the kicking operation through 3 games?
Yeah, and, but really for Caleb and for Hugh, both. I mean, they're both. I mean, this is their first really time at getting time on the field and playing. And right now, I think for both of those guys, they're just kind of sorting through with their technique, where they're at, the timing of things. I feel like both of them, their consistency will improve as we get going. I know Caleb. This last game really just kind of jammed himself up on the one kick, the 43-yarder, whatever that one was. But he's, I think practice-wise and where he's at, I think it's going to all start coming together here pretty quick.
How do you handle a kicker that's struggling? Because the pressure of that is different than a lot of things in the sport, I would imagine.
It is, and Caleb is very strong mentally as far as how he approaches a game. He can get rid of the last kick pretty quickly, which is really good. It's a trait you want to have as a kicker or punter. You don't ever want to be beat by the same kick. So where he's at in a mental state of mind, I have a lot of faith in him there. And again, just getting out on the field and then getting the consistent hit, that's just where we got to get to right now. And I think, where he is, like I said, I think we'll be getting there here pretty quick.
Thanks, Sean.
You bet.
Hi, Coach. You're recruiting some high school specialists. That's what Twitter says anyway. So you got 85 scholarships to give, and maybe it's a question for Coach Bielema, but is there a particular philosophy on using scholarships on kickers and punters?
Well, yeah, and that'll be a question I have to ask Coach Bielema. Right now, I am not in a recruiting capacity with the way this thing is set up, and Coach Miller is in that role. And so, any questions on recruiting and that stuff, you'll have to ask Coach.
One thing's interesting to me is in the past, we've seen a lot of fair catches on kickoffs, not so much this year with kids bringing them back. Was that a focal point for the special teams?
Yes, I think so. We when I got here and when I was talking with Coach about coming here, I mean, that was one of the emphasis that we were talking about is getting the return game and being able to get something out of it. We started the season off really well in kickoff return. We've been, I hate to say it, a block away of getting some big returns in this last week and the week before. So the opportunities, and again, with the years I've been coaching, the kickoff return stuff that we do, it takes a little bit to get it going. I think this team has really moved fast with being able to pick up with the scheme and how we're asking them to do it. So I think at the end of the day, now it's just reps and being able to see different pictures, and they're aware of it, and they're making some really good decisions. But like I said, it's just, we're one hit away. And in the punt return game, that obviously had a pretty decent day. We just can't have penalties. I mean, that's the biggest thing, that we got to make sure that we're not getting in the penalty game.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Good afternoon, Sean. Why is this Australian punter phenomenon happening, and where do you think it's headed? Is it going to expand further, or are we going to catch up here? What's going on?
It's a great question. When it all started a while back, there were some dips in high school punters coming out. I mean, a lot of the kids in high school focus a lot more on kicking field goals and a lot less on punting. And so I think it kind of gained ground, at least the way I see it. It gained some ground during that period of time. And then, you know, I've had the experience of coaching two older Australian punters, and with Ben at USC, he was 28 when I got there, and obviously with Hugh in the same situation. So you're also picking up a different level of maturity as well, and where they are with their bodies and what they've experienced. And so, you know, that I think, you know, the way it's going is trending up. I mean, there's more and more Aussie guys getting in the game of college and also in the pros. So, you know, I don't know where it's all going to go, but I know the high school kids that have been over the past couple of years that I've recruited and looked at, there's been some really good punters, you know, and they've been scholarship and put into place, but those numbers are not big numbers. I mean, they're maybe 8 to 10 kids when you're looking at Power 5.
Is this at least your first ex-cop?
This is my first stop. Yes, it is.
Is there something about coaching these older guys and older Australian guys, for that matter, that's different enough that, you know, you really kind of enjoy it? The difference of it, is it pleasant? I know that obviously there are different personality types, they're different people. So maybe, you know, maybe my question's really about Hugh, but is there something about coaching an older guy, coaching Hugh, that is refreshing?
You know, I think the thing for these guys, because the experiences that they've had, whether it's been playing Australian rules football, rugby, whatever they've played, those experiences of that part of the game makes their adjustability really quick. So if it's just a simple coaching point of how they're holding the ball, leg swing, you know, what they can visually see. I mean, they've advanced in that in part of the game to where, yeah, it's you know, you can. I mean, I got here and started working with Hugh, and you know, he actually adjusted quite a few things in a 4-week period of time, which that doesn't happen very often with guys. And so, you know, when I got to USC and was working with Ben, it was kind of the same scenario. And it was just over a short period of working with them. And, you know, those guys are, you know, the guys do a great job of coaching them before they get here. And then there's just a few things that I like to tweak up with them, you know, to just enhance the consistency. You know, and those guys that are older like that are just able to adjust. They've been in a game. And so they've had a lot of adjustment over a period of time.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Sean, Coach Bielema made an emphasis after the game on Saturday that Luke was on special teams and on a couple of your coverage units. When somebody's that prominent of a role, whether it's on offense or defense, and they want to come to somebody and say, hey, I think I can make a difference or help on special teams, can you walk me through how that works in the sense of what the conversation is like and what goes into that kind of a decision?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, you know, Coach and I'll talk about those things first, you know, and if there is you know, in Luke's situation, he wanted to come, he wanted to get on, you know, every unit he could and help. A lot of that's going to depend on how much they're doing on the field at their position. I typically, if it's a starter, you know, I'm looking at just two units to get them on is what I typically go by. But again, that boils down to what Coach wants to do and how he wants to handle it. And then at that point in time, once we decide, okay, well, let's get him on these units, see what he does. That's kind of how the process works.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Sean, I just want to follow up about Taylon Lightsy. He seems like he's been so close to blocking punts, and he made the first hit on the Billy Kemp fumble for the touchdown. What's he meant to your special teams unit there?
Oh, well, he's on every unit, and he is, you know, I mean, he's good. I mean, he studies film. He knows what's going on. He pays attention. You know, everything he you know, works, gives great effort. You know, and the good thing with him or guys that are 4 core guys, you know, if they're diving into it and actually studying like they're doing their normal position, you know, they can coach on the field with other players. And so, you know, and that's kind of the way I kind of look at him. I mean, he's one of those guys I look at as a coach on the field. So if some scenario pops up, he's able to make a quick adjustment and go from there, which sometimes will happen on punt return versus punt. But no, he's been great.
Thanks, Sean.
You bet. Thank you.
Hey, Sean, with Hugh not having a lot of like in-game reps up until this season, how did you guys coach him through kind of a tough start at Indiana to not let that linger a little bit?
Oh, a lot of that, and again, that's the mental side of it. I always tell a guy, when he goes out on the field to clear his mind, be in the moment of what he's doing out there. And that's really what it's been. It's just be in the moment right now of what you're doing. You can think about the punt. When you're warming up and doing certain things, that's when you focus on how you're hitting the ball, how you're dropping the ball. But when you're in a live rep, when you're in a team rep, you go out and hit it and you clear your mind. And so that's the one thing that with him is just getting him into the habit of where he's clearing his mind and then moving on to the next one. Obviously, this is the first time he's had action since he's been here. So that's a little process we just got to get through. And like I said, I think he's in a great place. I mean, those bothered him, and which they should. And he's moved on past them now. So I expect, and it's like I told him, I mean, you're going to have a bad punt every now and then. That's just part of it. I mean, not everybody's 100%. So we're going to shoot for it, but let him go.
Or do you think those were a mechanical thing, or was it something where he was just kind of in his head a little bit?
No, they were both mechanical. I mean, understand he's gone. We've changed up some footwork with him and some body posture, and so he's been training a certain way for a long time, and now in 4 weeks we've made some adjustments. And so, you get into these first couple games where he's trying to feel the game and get a good sense of it. Well, he reverted back to a little bit of reverted back to where he was and a little bit of what he was doing now. And so it just got into a mechanical issue.
Thanks, Sean.
You bet. Thank you.
All right.
Good.
Coach Snyder.
All right. Thank you, guys.